Has anyone else noticed the gap in the wireless over-ear headphones market? It's not something that generally leaps out unless you find yourself in a particular situation. Picture this. It's the festive period and you're scouring the online market for a perfect gift for a loved one who expressed interest in a new pair of headphones for work and travel. You're confident, thinking, this is my area, it's my time to shine. Now you're a generous soul, and the thought of gifting a pair of sub-£100 over-ears, even a really fine pair like the Sony BWC-H720N, seems miserly. At the same time, regifting a years-old pair of discarded or overused review samples that were no longer needed also feels like a bit of a no-no. Sure, the recipient might never know, but you'd be privy to your own little secret. And that gnawing guilt, like something from an Edgar Allan Poe novella, would rankle. Your next stop, the premium range, but here's the catch. The prices in this realm aren't entirely wallet-friendly. If you're planning to grab some of the best wireless over-ears at the start of the premium price band, you'll be forking out at least a couple of hundred for the pleasure. Firm favorites like the Sony WH-1000XM4 or the newer WH-1000XM5 are not exactly pocket-friendly. And if you want even better sound quality, the Bathys Focal or the Mark Levinson 5909 are closer to £1,000 than any previously noted figures. Generosity has its limits, right? Here's where it gets interesting. There seems to be a gaping gap in the market that few brands seem eager to fill. The Sony over-ear pricing structure leaps from the affordable to the high-end with nothing substantial in between. Other brands either target the budget market or the luxury end, leaving the middle ground somewhat barren. Finding something that sits in between is much trickier. At the time of writing, the only models that spring to mind are the Sennheiser Accentum Wireless and Veteran Beats Solo 3. Neither pair is particularly impressive, however, so where does this leave us? What are the options available? Let's dive into the two ends of the spectrum. The budget and premium offerings. The market for wireless over-ear headphones is truly a world of contrasts. On one end, we have the budget offerings. Take, for instance, the Sony WH-720N retailing at a price point below £100. It's a device that delivers a decent audio experience without burning a hole in your wallet. However, the thought of gifting a pair of these, even as fine as they are, might not sit right with the more generous souls among us. Is it a case of being miserly or just practical? That's a question left to the individual. Contrastingly, at the other end of the spectrum, we have the premium offerings. These are the headphones that demand a hefty price for the promise of superior sound quality. For example, the Sony WH-1000XM4 currently costs around £200, $230, or $300 Australian, and that's while they're in their final months of shelf life. The newer class-leading WH-1000XM5, they're almost 50% more. The Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra, a highly competitive offering, costs even more than that. And if you want to venture into the realm of the truly high-end, there's the Bathys Focal and the Mark Levinson 5909. These offerings are closer to £1,000 than any prices we've mentioned so far. They're not for the faint-hearted or the light-walleted, but for those who value sound quality above all else, they might just be worth it. So, there we have it. On one side, we have the budget headphones offering a decent audio experience for a modest price. On the other side, we have the premium offerings, promising superior sound quality, but at a cost. The gap between these two ends of the spectrum is quite significant, and it's a gap that's waiting to be filled. As we can see, there's a stark contrast between the budget and premium offerings. But what about the middle ground? What options do we have there? Let's take a moment to scrutinize the mid-range market for wireless over-ear headphones, which, frankly, is a bit of a barren landscape. There are a few contenders trying to stake a claim in this territory. For instance, the Sennheiser Accentum Wireless, priced at around £160 or $180, is one option that springs to mind. Also, the Veteran Beats Solo 3, which currently retails for around £130. However, the issue is not with the lack of options per se. The real problem lies in the quality of these offerings. Neither the Sennheiser Accentum Wireless nor the Beats Solo 3 is particularly impressive. The Accentum Wireless, while reasonably priced, falls short in terms of sound quality and comfort. The Beats Solo 3, on the other hand, is known for its robust bass, but falls short when it comes to balanced audio performance. The search for a satisfactory mid-range pair becomes a bit of a wild goose chase. You're left feeling like Goldilocks, trying to find a pair that's just right. And it's not a pleasant experience. You see, the mid-range market is a tricky beast. It's a no man's land that's too expensive for the budget-conscious and too cheap for the audiophiles. It's a space that's ripe for innovation, but for some reason manufacturers seem to be shying away from it. Perhaps it's the fear of not being able to meet both quality and price expectations, or maybe it's the lack of demand. After all, the market is driven by consumers, and if there isn't a strong demand for mid-range headphones, manufacturers are unlikely to invest in them. So if you're looking for a mid-range pair of wireless over-ear headphones, prepare for a bit of a struggle. The few options that are available are not the most impressive, and you may have to compromise on either price or quality. Unfortunately, the mid-range market doesn't offer a lot of impressive options. Let's dive deeper into why that is in the next scene. So why is there such a gap in the market? This is the question that has been nagging at me. After all, it seems counterintuitive. A vast majority of consumers fall into the middle income bracket, and it would seem logical to cater to this broad segment. But as we delve deeper, the reasons behind this gaping void start to become clearer. Manufacturers, it appears, have found their sweet spots at the opposite ends of the spectrum. At one end, we have the budget market. This segment is populated by consumers who want a decent pair of wireless over-ear headphones, but aren't willing to break the bank for them. Manufacturers targeting this market focus on delivering just enough value to keep the price down and the headphones flying off the shelves. On the other end, we have the premium market. This is where the audiophiles and the big spenders lurk. These consumers are willing to shell out top dollar for their headphones. They value sound quality above all else and are willing to pay for it. Manufacturers in this segment pour resources into research and development, striving to create the best possible product regardless of cost. This leaves the middle market a seeming no man's land in the world of wireless over-ear headphones. This market is tricky. Consumers here are willing to pay more than the budget market, but they also demand more value for their money. They want superior sound quality, but they are not willing to pay premium prices. This is a tough balancing act for manufacturers, and many have chosen to avoid it altogether. This is not to say that the middle market doesn't exist. There are consumers out there who are willing to pay a bit more for a better product, but for now this market is largely overlooked by manufacturers, leaving a gaping hole in the wireless over-ear headphones market. It seems like the middle market is largely overlooked by manufacturers. To sum it up, there's a noticeable gap in the wireless over-ear headphones market. We've explored the landscape, shining a spotlight on the budget and premium ends where options abound. At the budget end, offerings like the Sony WH-CH720N and the Lindy brand cater to those who aren't keen on breaking the bank. On the other side of the spectrum, the premium market, we find the Sony WH-1000XM4 and the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra, among others, which offer top-notch sound quality but at a hefty price tag. However, the middle ground leaves much to be desired. Few models, such as the Sennheiser Accentum Wireless and Beats Solo 3, attempt to fill this void, but they fall short in impressing the discerning listener. This gap reflects a market principle where manufacturers target either the budget-conscious or the big spenders, leaving the mid-range consumer high and dry. It's about time manufacturers paid attention to the middle market and filled this gap with quality, affordable options.